Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Say, could that lass be I?
Hello, and thanks again for joining during our Outlander End of Summer series. If you haven't been watching along, be sure to catch up on the last two episodes featuring author Diana Gabaldon, Outlander kitchen chef Teresa Carl Sanders, and actors Lauren Lyle and John Bell. And please consider joining us in our support of Doctors Without Borders by clicking the link on this page and donating today. This week, you're in for a very special treat. If you've been missing the haunting sounds of the Skyboat song, never fear, Bear McCreary is here. Together with lead vocalist Rhea Yarborough, they'll discuss the evolution of the music in Outlander and share new performances from Maria Doyle Kennedy and some very special guests. And we're going to end this episode with an exclusive peek at an Outlander Untold scene, available on the Season 5 Blu-ray, DVD, and digital releases. So make sure to stick around and check it out. Now, sit back and let the music begin. Hi, Bear.
Thank you, Meryl, and hey to all the Outlander fans out there. My name is Bear McCreary. I am the composer for Outlander, and I'm here today to share some musical secrets with you to help pass the time during Droughtlander, because this is a long one. So one of the things that I think Outlander fans don't realize is that I have actually worked with showrunner Ronald D. Moore before on a show called Battlestar Galactica. That was actually my first show. So Ron Moore is probably personally responsible for my career being what it is today. So you fast forward a few years later and Ron starts developing Outlander for television. Well, we were chatting about something unrelated, and at one point I said, oh my God, I'm so glad that somebody's doing a show that deals with the Jacobite uprising. And he said, but you know what a Jacobite is? And I said, yeah, like Jacobite songs, the rebellion songs, were a passion of mine. When I was in high school and college, I researched all these songs. I was fascinated by songs of the Jacobite uprising because they hid the meaning in the lyrics. And Ron was really struck by the fact that I already knew so much about the folk music of the time period that Outlander was set in. And one thing led to another, and here we are. I'm heading into my 6th season on Outlander as composer. I'm not gonna lie, I love bagpipes, okay? I would write bagpipes on everything. To date, nobody's let me use bagpipes the way the showrunners on Outlander let me use bagpipes.
Me a song of a lass that is gone. Say, could that lass be I?
So bagpipes, Irish penny whistle, a frame drum called a bowron, accordion, folk guitar, 12-string guitar, lutes, fiddle. These are all colors that are vital to the score of Outlander. I've been able to use those instruments in my writing to convey heartbreak, adventure, excitement, comedy, romance. They're wonderful, and I love that I get to use them so much. There are so many cues, especially in the first season, that locked down for me what the tone of the score to Outlander would actually be. And Dance of the Druids is one of the most significant. And when it comes to authenticity with the music of Druids and Druidic culture, we don't know what that music sounded like. So I had creative license only because we just don't know. So Dance of the Druids really let me explore. And I wrote vocals for Rhea Yarborough, who also sang the main title. I wrote these exciting percussive rhythms. And I also wrote orchestral colors that I think gave the score a modern sensibility. And Dance of the Druids combines all that stuff. In many ways, that was the cue in the first episode where I was planting a flag and saying, this is what Outlander sounds like. It's not just Scottish music. This is a fantasy show. So that was really cool. As the show has expanded and explored other times, other places, the music has had to follow suit. And the score had to completely reinvent itself. And what other show other than Outlander would give me the chance to do that? And not only jump from style to style, but combine them. So even when we're in the Appalachian score of season 4, I'm still using the bagpipes. The bagpipes have come to represent Jamie and Claire. So it's a fantastic experience for me to be able to combine all these different colors. Season 5 presented a new challenge. In many ways, I had created a pattern with the show that every season the music changes. inspired by the geographical and narrative changes taking place. All right, so season 5 throws me a curveball, right? There is no geographical change. It takes place in America, same as season 4. So in early discussions with the producers, we explored the idea of not changing the music at all. But it became clear immediately that the geography was not what matters. But it was really about the character growth. Because the music of the main title and the music of the score is really for Claire and Jamie and their experience. So with that philosophy in mind, then we started thinking, okay, we're not exploring anymore, we are planting roots, we are forming society. So I tried to make everything just a little deeper and a little more cinematic, so you feel like we are planting roots. We live here now, this is our home, and we're gonna defend it. There are so many moments in season 5 that compete for my favorite moment, my favorite cue, my favorite experience. But Jamie putting on the kilt in 501 for the oath taking, that's gotta be it. That scene was so profound for me as a fan, for me as a composer, seeing him literally dust off this old piece of clothing that he hasn't worn in like 20 years, putting it on and making this statement. And I wanted to bring back a Scottish war song that I used in season 2. Hearing that song again and seeing Jamie in the kilt, hearing those great Highland bagpipes, which I had not used in season 4. I was very moved as I wrote it. And I remember at the screening here in Los Angeles, I got to go and be in a room with thousands of fans and experience that moment. And there was this electricity in the air. And I was just so moved that I got to have this communal experience with the fans and I got to take a part in it. So I certainly hope I get to do that again.
There'll be nae more lilting, nae laughing or kissing. Go in peace and leave us to grieve.
One of the most moving musical moments of Outlander's 5th season is the unforgettable vocal performance by Maria Doyle Kennedy as Aunt Jocasta. And for that, let's check in with Maria Doyle Kennedy.
Hello Bear, thank you very much for that lovely introduction. What music means to me, it's pretty enormous really, it's a bit like breathing. I consider myself a singer who does a bit of acting rather than the other way around and started singing in bands, so it is no small thing to me. The song that Jocasta sang on the heartbreaking passing of Myrta is called Flowers of the Forest. And it was suggested to me by Danny, who wrote that episode. We spoke about a few songs, but when I heard that one, I just knew that was the one. It was written originally to commemorate the Battle of Flodden, which was 1513. And as it was passed down through generations, it was adapted and changed. It sort of gave me liberty then to adapt the song myself. I really wanted to sing it as something that Jocasta would sing to Myrta, so I adapted one of the verses so that it really came from her heart to his. It's such a huge moment in the show, and I really felt she was grieving him, grieving the loss of Myrta, and also, well, it was Jocasta's last real chance for love, I think, and all of the tomorrows that they were never going to share now. There'll be nae more lilting, laughing or kissing. Go in peace and leave us to grieve, sighing and moaning, an ilka green, loaning the flowers of the forest are all weed away as boughs in the morning. Nae blind lads are scorning, lasses are lonely, and how we in way, sighing and moaning, an ilka green, lone. the flowers of the forest
are all fade away.
I just wanted to say thanks a million for listening. Thanks so much to the fans of the show. You're pretty incredible people altogether.
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Say, could that lass be I?
I'm here with Rhea Yarbrough, the singer of the Skyboat song, the main title for Outlander. Rhea, do you remember the circumstances in which you ended up singing the Skyboat song for Outlander?
Yeah, it was definitely one of the most unusual sessions I've ever had, mostly because I was 8 months pregnant and I couldn't even stand up because I didn't have the energy to do so. So we kind of had to wheel me in, not literally, but and I had to
Almost.
sit, I know, and I had to sit in a chair with both of myself at the time and take a lot of deep breaths. Fortunately, it's a song I actually already knew. I learned that song, the Skyboat song, when I was 8 or 9 years old, when I was in a children's choir. So when I was asked to sing this song again for this show, it was already a piece of music that was very dear to my heart. Well, I think it's why it kind of came off so well.
Yeah.
Because it's when you do something that's really just kind of an offering from your heart, then there's an intimacy that just kind of happens.
One of the things that I think is worth discussing is the lyrics.
Yeah.
There are two sets of lyrics for the Skyboat song. A traditional set, which we did not use, and a less famous version by the very famous Scottish author Robert Louis Stevenson. And the Stevenson lyrics, I just think are stronger. Yeah. Were they the lyrics you sang as a kid?
They're the lyrics I knew, anyway.
They're the ones that were more familiar to me, too. And for fans of the show, if you don't know, the Skyboat song is actually a coded song about Bonnie Prince Charlie and his flee after his defeat against the English. So it's already got this strong connection to Scottish culture, to the Jacobite rebellion itself. And in fact, the original lyric is, "Sing me a song of a lad that is gone," the lad being Bonnie Prince Charlie. And that was in the original demo.
Sing me a song of a lad that is gone. Say, could that lad be I? Merry of soul, he sailed on a day over the sea to sky.
That was something that I would have never taken the audacious step to change Robert Louis Stevenson.
Right.
That was a Ron Moore idea. I feel that in you singing the second take, which was Sing Me a Song of a Lass That Was Gone, it connected it to Claire. Did you feel that way?
Oh yeah, no, it felt immensely more personal. It felt like, framing a character who I could identify with a little bit more.
I also liked that she's taken out of her time, and especially, even just that lyric is burned into my brain with the shot of her feet running in slow motion in some of those main title sequences.
And also when you ask the question, say, could that lass be I think anyone who hears that can immediately put themselves in the position of Claire.
So one of the things that makes the theme song to Outlander so unique is that it changes from season to season. That is very rare in television. And one of the reasons it changed in season 2 is that the narrative really took us to a different place. We went from the Highlands of Scotland, from the early Jacobite uprising, to the courts of Paris. And suddenly it looked like this period drama. So, going to Paris, suddenly we had to come back to you to sing the Skyboat song again, in French, surrounded by harpsichords and viola da gambas and sort of Baroque classical instruments. What was that experience like?
It was like, chante-moi l'histoire d'une fille d'autrefois, s'agirait-il de moi? I still remember.
Chante-moi l'histoire d'une fille d'autrefois. S'agirait-il de moi?
I really wanted to get it right. It was interesting because it's always a combination of nailing the words, nailing the pronunciation, but also bringing everything else you have to bring to when you record something, which is okay, bring the feeling of this new season. It's not the same as the first season. So in that way, I just wanted to embed myself in that time, in that place, rather than so much only in Claire's head.
But the one that was really different is season 4. I really think season 4 and 5 of Outlander changed the main title more profoundly than the others. In season 4, we arrive in America, and I wanted to give the main title a distinctly American sensibility. So I thought, why don't we just do a bluegrass version?
It was super fun. I have to say, like, that's, I don't know if it's my favorite version, but it's like, it's up there. Like, I really like this one.
It might be my favorite. It's so weird that we got to do that.
It's totally weird. And also we got to work with a bunch of people we love instrumentally. I forgot, were you one of the singers in that or not?
I don't think I did.
Okay.
No.
This guy's a hell of a tenor, by the way.
Well, another time. I'll save that for another time.
Save it.
So let's talk about the new season.
Okay.
Because as audacious as the season 4 bluegrass main title is, I actually think the season 5 a cappella choir version is the most bold change that the show ever made. It's no longer a solo vocal, it's a choir. It is fully a cappella. And furthermore, it's not evoking any time period or any place. It's actually stepping back and taking on a sense of a timeless choral arrangement. So one of the things that I think makes it very distinct is that it ends with a solo vocal where the episode title cards go. Because everybody, producers, showrunners, writers, execs, everybody felt like your voice still needed to be in the show. So in a way, like, your vocal, even though it's not on every episode in the same way, still very much is, I think, the voice for the series. And I wanted to know what that experience was like recording those new pieces this season.
Right. Well, it has been an interesting ride because from the beginning, it's sort of like the main title got more and more ambitious every time, and finally got to a thing where there were, you know, the most voices we've ever had. And, you know, I'm gonna be honest, I was a little like, hey, where's me? And then finally, when we came to the end of the season, and I was asked to do that version at the very end where it's nothing but voice and rain, it kind of seemed like a homecoming. Like, I mean, just from like a vocal narrative perspective, you know, sort of like I came from, first it was this woman who is alone in this world and trying to understand where she's going. The world becomes more and more and more and more complex and intricate and emotional until finally you hit this place where you're at your most vulnerable and also you're most alone. And it was fitting that we would come back to this very vulnerable and very personal place.
Expanding the sound of the vocals from one singer to many was not an easy task. And we actually are so fortunate to live in Los Angeles around some of the best singers in the world. We're very fortunate to have the actual singers who sang on Outlander's season 5 main title right here with us on Zoom, re-recording the main title just for you guys.
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Say, could that lass be I? Mary of soul, she sailed on a day over the sea to sky. Billow and breeze, islands and seas, mountains of rain and sun. Mountains of rain and sun. All that was good, all that was bad, all that was is gone. Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Say, could that lass be I? Mary of soul, she sailed on a day over the sea to sky.
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Say, could that lass be I?
Outlander fans around the world, thank you for tuning in. Huge thank you to Rhea Yarbrough and the entire choir for joining us. Wish everybody a happy and healthy Droughtlander. Let's catch up again in season 6.
Thank you to all the fans for tuning in. Don't forget to catch the soundtrack as part of the collector's edition. Once again, we're going to end this episode with an exclusive peek at an Outlander Untold scene, available on the Season 5 Blu-ray, DVD, and digital releases. Please enjoy, and we'll see you next Sunday for the grand finale of our end of summer series with Katrina Balfe and Sam Heughan.
Today's scene is a little sneak peek at what goes on in Maslie and Fergus's life.
We're delivering a nice casserole of rabbit stew prepared by Maslie to cheer them up.
Maslie had quite an unfortunate incident with Roger where she put her foot in her mouth a little bit.
The tension of two young people with another baby on the way, having mucked up a little bit in the past and just trying to do the right thing and not doing it the right way.
They want to help him, but I think she's projecting her anxiety a little bit onto Fergus and he's trying to reassure her.
There are such things as sane fights, I guess. It's quite sincere when they get heated because actually they're just laying things on the table.
It's a very dramatic family. We've all got far too much going on all the time. And things go wrong all the time. And I think this is sort of an example of that.
Brianna is very mindful of not upsetting Roger. And since we'll be doing most of the talking, we kind of make idle comments about the land grant or Ian and the Mohawk. Maybe you can ask him how the loft is coming along.
Oh, why don't you ask him?
I just meant because you and Roger haven't spent much time together as late. And I didn't ken how to talk about wood and carpentry.
And I do. I suppose you think I have a wooden head to match.
That isn't what I meant.